Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I am back bringing you some content hopefully that you can enjoy. Thank you for being with me, sharing your time and attention because those are two things that you can't get back. So I greatly appreciate it. This video, we're going to keep it a little light. I'm always talking about some heavy subjects, but today I'm going to explore, something that's light, but I kind of enjoy talking about, and this in regards to hip hop. And this video is about Three Stacks, Andre 3000. That's right, the dope MC from Outkast. This video is gonna ask the question: is Andre 3000 a top 5 MC? Is he a GOAT? Is he in the conversation of top MCs, top 50, top 5, top 10, any of that? Is he in the conversation for that list? And I'm making a video to argue that even though he's a dope MC, he cannot be considered a GOAT or top 5 or anything like that for a number of reasons. One of the main reasons is that he doesn't have a solo album. It's a solo category. We talk about the best MCs, the best rappers. It's about how you perform in different categories. It's all opinion, but I think that sometimes having these discussions is good to kind of have some back into the opinion. So, can a rapper be top 5 without a solo album? I don't think so. Because when you having a solo album in this category, it shows how you stand out by yourself. How dope are you without the influence of your partner or partners, like in the duo or in the group. You have groups like Wu-Tang Clan or even the Juice Crew where you got members that are all excellent rappers inside the group. But exactly how good are they without them? And it makes you show how much influence a rapper has on other rappers when they're in the group. So in terms of Andre 3000, he has a lot of features and he has a lot of classic albums in the duo with Big Boy of Outkast, but he doesn't have any solo albums. So we don't know how he would do in regards to performing on his own. We don't know what a solo album looks like. So how good would he be? How good is his beat selection, which is something that people criticize Nas for. And, so things like that come into question that other artists who are in the conversation of being a GOAT, they're under that scrutiny of being a top MC that Andre 3000 doesn't have to face because he's never had a solo album. So I think that's one reason right there why he can't be a top 5 MC or even in the category of amongst other GOATs. Even when you have other rappers like Big Pun or Biggie, they didn't have a large body of work, but the albums that they did have, Big Pun has a classic, Capital Punishment. Biggie got 2 classics, so that shows that Biggie knows how to make music, whether it's with, because of Puff or whatever the reason. Biggie has shown and demonstrated that he's in the GOAT conversation of a top 5 MC because he has produced an individual body of work that showcased him and him alone. And without that, I don't think any rapper can be considered amongst the GOAT category. And so that's one of the major reasons why I say Andre 3000 is not a top 5 MC. Even if you take someone like Lauryn Hill, who people say, well, Lauryn Hill has only one album, but that one album got 5 Grammys. That one album is a bona fide classic. That one album came out during the golden age of hip hop in the 90s, and it stood out amongst the rest of the albums. Arguably one of the best rap albums of that decade. And she did that without the Fugees. So that's a testament to her skills and that's a testament to her talent. Being able to put that together is something that needs to be looked at. If you're not able to come out with a decent album, then what does that say about you? It means that you can rhyme good, but that still puts you in a separate category, which is why you'll have individuals that can wrap circles around everyone else, like a Papoose or even a Cannabis back in his day, but they wouldn't be in the conversation of GOAT simply because of their body of work. So body of work matters. So it's kind of like, even if we wanted to be objective and we wanted to look at other genres, like let's say we wanted to look at different generations and different genres of music, like R&B. Would Michael Jackson be considered a GOAT when he was in the Jackson 5? When did Michael Jackson become legend status? It wasn't when he was in a group. right? Was it when he did Off the Wall? Even with Off the Wall, I don't know if he was considered to be a GOAT or even a top 5 artist, let alone singer or things of that nature, or even performer. But when he came out with Thriller and Bad, it undeniably solidified his position as the king of pop. So these are things that we need to ask. What about Diana Ross? You know, she was in a group. Was Diana Ross, was she considered a GOAT when she was in a group, or was she considered a legendary artist and legendary singer when she came out on her own and she solidified her position as one of the best to ever do it? Or what about Lionel Richie? You know, what about R. Kelly? When did these people become GOATs and, you know, living legends, so to speak? You know, you can have legendary groups. Outkast is a legendary group, but when you're talking about the GOAT individually, it kind of shows bias to give Andre 3000 that kind of title if he hasn't shown what he can do on his own. Even Big Boy has shown to make great music, good music when he did his own solo projects. Even in the double project that they put out together, Big Boy's single was pretty much as big as Andre's. They were at par. That's what made that a classic album, double album, because they had a chance to showcase what they could do individually, but they were still a group. It still counted as an Outkast album. So things like that you have to consider, which is why someone like a Lauryn Hill would be different than someone like Andre 3000, or even someone like Drake, even with the asterisks about allegedly people writing his rhymes and things of that nature. Drake has bars. Like it or not, hate him or not, Drake has bars, and he makes good music, you know? And he has solo albums. Now, the thing with him is that he sings. Does he have a complete rap album? Could you consider Drake in that category, even with the asterisk aside, if he doesn't come out with a full rap album? Lauryn Hill, she sung on her album, but she still had her first, 2 or 3 singles off the Miseducation album were rap singles. You know, you don't see that with Drake. You don't really see that with singing rappers. So that's why Lauryn Hill would be different than Andre, and then different than Drake, you know. But even Drake has had an album that's solo where he does rap on a decent amount of songs. Andre doesn't have that. So we have to look at that. Even in other genres, when you have musicians that go solo and they're in a group, they showcase their talent by themselves. So if Andre hasn't been shown for whatever reason that he's not able to do that, you can't put him in that position. Let's take other duos in rap, right? EPMD is a classic group. Mobb Deep is a classic group. Tribe Called Quest is a classic group. But would you put Parrish Smith or Eric Sermon in the GOAT category? You would put Eric Sermon in that category as a producer, right? We would put Parrish Smith in that category as a duo, if you're talking about the best duos. Same with Prodigy. Prodigy has a solo album, you know? So Prodigy has displayed that he's able to produce and come out with a project by himself to showcase his talent, which people could actually put him in that category, even though a lot of his quotables would be from Mobb Deep. The fact that he went out on his own, it would make more sense to put him in that category. So, you know, I talk about this a lot, so I just figured I'd do a video on it. So it's just something to look at and even apply this to other genres. Andre's a dope MC. He has classic features. His bars is on point. He crosses off all the checklists. Without a solo album, though, it's kind of like, is he able to do a complete song, hook, 3 verses, you know, multiple times with over 10, 11, 12 plus tracks? And that's a testament to that. Are you able to carry an album? You know, as opposed to people having to be creative and string your verses along and put their own mixtape or mix stream together, best of Andre, you know? That's different. Are you able to make a song, choose a beat that matches your lyrics, put it together so people can rock to multiple times in one project, for people to rock out to and solidify your position? Andre has not done that. And there's no other artist that I could think of that would be considered in the GOAT category that has not done that. Everybody else that we would consider as a GOAT has come out with their own solo album. Rakim, Coogee Rap, and these people were in duos. Eric Sermon, Prodigy, Q-Tip, various Wu-Tang members. Inspector Deck, to me, he's definitely could be in the conversation of a legend or a GOAT. And he's come out with a solo album. Even if these albums have not performed that much, Deck has enough to say, but that's why he probably wouldn't be up there on the list, someone like Inspector Deck, even though he has a ton of quotables, because he doesn't have the consistency of producing albums. So I don't think you can put anyone up in that category of a GOAT if you don't have a body of work. And that body of work as a solo category, it just has to be complemented with a solo album. It doesn't even matter if it's rap music. Even if you look at other, like I went over, other groups, they will be considered classic groups. But would you consider each of these members classic within themselves if they haven't shown what they can do? You know what I'm saying? Beyonce was in a group. Beyonce was Beyonce. Who she is when she stepped out on her own, which was solidify her in that top position as one of the top performers of all times, one of the best R&B singers of all times. That did not come until she came out on her own as a solo artist. So if you apply this metric to all other artists, you will see that if you're in a duo or group or crew, and you don't come out with a solo record, I challenge anyone to see or come up with others besides Andre 3000 in any genre of music that has done that, where they can still be considered a GOAT, but they haven't showcased themselves individually. Can you separate a Phife Dawg from a Tribe Called Quest? Can you separate a Q-Tip from a Tribe Called Quest? You only do that when they start to step out. Q-Tip became more Q-Tip is when he started producing and when he started going out on his own. He was still revered, but he was revered within a Tribe Called Quest, as opposed to, him stepping out on his own. That kind of made him more solidified than maybe other members of the group. So I could make the same argument with Phife Dawg. Phife Dawg has a lot of quotable lyrics, classic MC, classic group, no solo album. The same with Black Thought. Black Thought, obviously a supreme lyricist. No question, he's in a lot of people's top 5. No solo album. So Black Thought would be just like Andre 3000. How good would a Black Thought solo album be? Can he carry an album? That right there is a testament of who you are as an MC, as opposed to if you're on a song with other people and you only have one verse. It's real easy to shine on a freestyle, and it's real easy to shine with one verse, but can you carry 3 verses and a hook? Can you carry a full song? How many full songs does Andre 3000 have without any solo records? You know what I'm saying? Close the door. That's my son. When I finish, I'll come out there. So that's crucial. You have to look at something like that. So that's my argument, and you could apply that to any across the board, any genre. It'd be curious to see what other people think. I've had this conversation in debates before, but without a solo album, no way. And even when you have a solo album, how good is your solo album? Take an artist like Jadakiss, or take an artist like I mentioned, Cannabis or Papoose. These are supreme lyricists, right? But can he really be in the top 5 without a classic album, which is another criteria? Can you be in a top 5 rapper without a classic album? Does Jada have any classic albums? Cannabis have any classic albums? Papoose have any classic albums? And these are individuals that can out-rap 95% of the professional rappers out there. But can they carry an album? Can they carry a full out? And Jadakiss has good albums. Do we have any classic albums? So would it be accurate to put Jadakiss in the category of a top 5 MC? The same with Andre 3000 if they don't have classic albums. Would you put him over Biggie, who has 2 classic albums? Would you put him over Jay, which has numerous classic albums? Would you put him or Andre? Would you put these rappers, Jadakiss and Andre and etc., over Nas, who has multiple classic albums? Would you put him over Pun, which has a classic album? Who else? Would you put him over Snoop, which has classic albums? Even Eminem, which has classic albums. So there's levels and tiers. It's tons of dope MCs out there. There's tons of GOAT MCs out there. So when you're comparing them to other people in the list, you have to look at these categories. No solo album, no classic albums. So how could you put these individuals in the same category of people that are just as good as them or maybe better, that have classic albums, that have solo albums? It just doesn't make sense. It's like if you have two great players that you could say are on the same level, but one player has managed to come up with a championship, or one player manages to come up with an MVP, or one player manages to come up with, insert award here, but the other player hasn't. Same talent, similar skill set, but the other player has these accolades. How could you compare them and put them in the same category when they're at par, but one has more accolades than the other? It's no different than rap. If you could say Andre 3000, let's just say he's as good as Nas or Jay. Just to say, for example. But Jay has the record for most Grammys. Nas has, all of these accolades. Snoop has these accolades. How could you compare them if they were already at par, but these rappers have exceeded on this level solo, and this one hasn't? And that's why I say Andre 3000, as well as Jadakiss, and artists like that cannot be in the top 5. So that is my short video, taking a break because I talk about a lot of deep subjects. And I hope you enjoyed this. Please chime in because this is, an exciting topic to talk about, loose topic, and I look forward to your opinions. Peace.